Well, good morning to you all. Tony Virtue speaking, Virtue and Partners, with our regular monthly update. And happy Christmas to you all, particularly those of you overseas. I look on my map, I think we have 50 clients overseas at this time of the year. So your thoughts are with us. And wonderful to see so many of you last week down at the Manly Skiff Club. It was a beautiful night. The village was at its best, and great to see hopefully a level of normality after COVID and all the challenges that people have been through, that we can move forward again as a community. Markets have been quite a lot stronger over the last few weeks, as it does look like inflation has peaked, both here and overseas. US market hit a new high for the year last week. We're a fair bit behind. I compared the NASDAQ with the Australian market, and there's a 30% arbitrage at the moment, which is in part a function of the different makeup. They talk about this magnificent seven over there, and it really has been the technology sector, artificial intelligence, etc., that has really brought much of the value to the equity markets this year. Those companies are very interest rate sensitive, particularly here in direct property, are doing quite a lot better, as the perception is that interest rates will normalise. What do I mean by that? There's what we call elastic demand. That is where interest rate policy really does impact on decision making. If it gets too high, no one would borrow money, they just leave it all in the bank and bank your money. If it's too low, well, then you go too hard and you get speculative investments going on. So what to expect over the next year or two? Some level of normalization of the world. Obviously, we've had 2 world wars still going on. And that plus coming out to COVID, that is a big ask for people to adjust. Property market so far has held up well here. It looks like it's slowing down, and to some extent you would expect that with there's only so much money you can borrow. Interest rates go up, your borrowing capacity goes down there. But still very solid, and we do have this bipartisan agreement that the family home is sacrosanct. You can have as expensive a home as you like and sell it and not pay any tax. So whatever those are the rules, people will naturally abide by that. As part of that, we are seeing some downsizing coming through, people moving into maybe easier living, and in doing so topping up their super and drawing down an income stream. It's the time of year when the government comes out with their half-yearly forecasts. Key things to be aware of: GDP was low for 0.2% for the September quarter. If it hadn't been for net migration, and you can see in my records here, migration at an all-time high of 520,000 people. If it hadn't been for that, we were in recession per capita, no question about that. And Australia is a nation of migrants, and again, it saved the day. What it has led to is an imbalance between supply and demand, and those of you in Sydney today can see just how hard it is to get into the rental market, let alone buy anything. And we need time for this to stabilise. State governments come out with some rules to encourage more medium density in the city, and that coupled with the feds coming out now and taxing international investors much higher for buying properties here, and doubly so if they don't rent them out. So the idea is that we have capacity here. We need people living in properties which is about right for them. If there's additional capacity, we need that released back into the domestic market there. So they are expecting migration probably to halve next year, back to around 250,000. And again, this is it's a political football as to who you allow in and what they do. But look at this as a kind of a normalisation going on, and that should be relatively good for equity markets as well. Interest rates coming down is a positive for shares, positive for direct property there. Well, it's been a big year for everybody. I think we're getting ready for Christmas here. We will have a skeleton staff over the break. As always, it's been a great pleasure working with you, seeing so many of you doing well and living your lives to the full. It's a very eclectic client base, I can tell you that, and that's something we're very proud of, and something we're committed to continuing for many, many years to come. So happy Christmas again to you all. Tony Virtue, when experience pays.